Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today I bankrupt once again by Jake, Nick, and Austin.
What's going on, y'all?
The suspense killed me.
It was very suspenseful.
My brain was trying to say other names all of a sudden. I got stuck on the triple J's all of a sudden. Alright, so today's matchup is me versus Austin. Austin has brought Cooler the Unison deck back out, and I didn't build anything, so I brought back my AOD. It's kind of what I do when I don't build anything. I'm reading a text message right now for some reason. So hope you all enjoy. Let's get into today's matchup. Oh yeah, just button simple. Feel free to click there for a reason.
Man, I missed you when you were the prison guy, not the AOD guy.
I still am the prison guy.
Nah,
and
not
only in
anymore,
the
man.
card
You
game.
changed.
No, it's on the card game.
AOP's changed you, man.
You know I have another prison built ready, right?
Let's see
I
it.
don't believe it.
I'm trying to get the last winner from our current pack, which is
Okay.
Baby, I think.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
Shadow Dragon.
Yeah, one baby's already been pulled.
So let's get into today's matchup. So, Austin, what are you thinking? What's the mindset? What's going on?
That glare is impeccable right now on those cards.
Way to double sleeve your
um,
stuff.
I like my sleeves.
Use Matt's sleeve, you dingus.
Yeah, true.
No.
I like the
But-
way the gloss feels.
With this matchup, I was fairly confident going into it just because I have Knives, which can shut down a lot of, extra attacks because Knives can stop an attack and then pick another card so it can't attack till the end of your next turn, so it shuts a card down for 2 turns.
Yeah, which is really good.
So, yeah, basically Knives stops 3 attacks if you're smart. And then I have Dormant. I was like, okay, well, I have a lot of defense for a deck like this, so my whole thought process is just be defensive, play Knives when I can, and then just shove Golden Frieza down your throat when I can.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what I want to do.
My mindset was like I need to go fast as possible, but I was like, he's gonna dormant me every single turn, so I gotta choose my attacks carefully at this point. And also because I knew you could potentially go very wide even on your second turn. Was the reason why I only took 1 life during my turn, and it was only from the leader swing instead of using it during the strikes backs card.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You kind of just stopped on 2 attacks and then stayed at 2 inch. I'm like, okay, cool. I was a little bit thrown off on that. Didn't know what was going on there.
I didn't have any other Unisons to use.
You charged it.
Yeah, because I thought I'd have other ones I wanted to use. I was like, no, never mind. I didn't want to, because I know you could throw a lot of attacks out.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have the Frieza, I didn't want to do anything because the Frieza, I can get a 20k at least, and I'll have 5 markers, so I could withstand a few attacks.
So in the idea of Frieza, I had to prep this turn very carefully as well because I had a very bad start. I charged my only blue card. I didn't see a hatch, so I happened to at least see a Bobby, so I was able to at least play a Bobby last turn. But I'm not seeing Turles, so I'm losing out on one of my current searchers right now. And then on both the strikes backs and on my leader swing, I chose not to take my life. I'm like, if you go just full all in next turn, I need to have as much life as possible just to hold out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's not the end of the world not seeing Turles right now, since you do have your leader swing. Awakened side, yeah, I can see it'd be a lot more of a detriment, but here I think you still have a chance, essentially.
The cards I was getting weren't the best, I will tell you that right now. And luckily, I saw some decent cards on the strike back to add more stuff to my hand. I saw some good stuff off the leader swing. And here, I just wanted more draws. But I knew this was a risk. If he happened to have a charismatic like he does now, I'm losing it. But he didn't crit. He let me get the extra draws. And now I'm hoping that Austin plays one of 2 different ways here, which is either A, he'll wait until my turn 3 to start establishing a board, kind of go down to where he feels comfortable in life, and then negate and just clear my board. And I'm like, okay, I'll be okay if he does that. And I do not want him to kind of go all in. And so we're just kind of that moment where what is his thought process and what is he going to do in this moment?
One of the things, too, that people talk about when it comes to the offering stuff is when a deck draws a lot like AOD does and searches so much, I see absolutely no point in taking a life because they're going to get those cards one way or another. So don't crit a life because they'll see them still. I have never, because I've done that way before where I'll crit the life to make sure they don't draw. And I just feel horrible because they're just getting a free hit off of me and they're still going to find the cards they want.
Yeah.
But there's the Frieza finally. I finally have another Unison to play. And then.
And I opted to get rid of Android 13 because you are a more Unison-based deck. That card is. I mean, yes, I think I can still play it, if I recall correctly, and make you pitch a card. I'm okay. I'd rather keep the cards in my hand for other effects, so that's the reason why I kind of chose that. Now, you did charge a 4-drop Cooler, which can initially be, I think, 1 energy, which I forgot about, which I could negate that if you try to play that, or not play, but counterplay it. And here, when you swing, you were heavily debating on what your approach was going to be, and I almost took that damage, and I decided at the last second, no, I got a combo out of this.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did, because this...
If you didn't, I would have dumped my entire hand out trying to get you down.
Now...
That would have been a different whole story, you know?
So when you swing here, it's 30,000, right? And you combo it to make it 40?
Yeah.
I don't remember if you comboed the card off as well, make it 45, or if just 40.
I don't remember either.
There it is, okay, yeah, so 45. My mindset was I could combo out of this first attack. I could have. But depending on what I got from Awakening, could pivot what I do here. I just knew I had to either combo out of that, which was possible, or take it and be safe on your next swing, which I did happen to draw on something that was beneficial, and I think I do take this 3 damage. And from here on out, this is like the most I have to play correctly, or it's all done. Like, it's gone. Because one life is so dangerous against this deck.
Yeah, the first Golden Frieza swing, in my opinion, is probably the most important. That's why usually when I do it, if it's not negated, I will combo. Because you'll see some players will make the decision to combo out their hand to avoid it. Then they lose out a lot of hand size. And then I have another swing after that. Or they'll just take the life, and I got what I wanted. You know, I got the 3 life. So either way, I win with those. That's why I like doing super combo and 1 extra and 1 extra, because 40 coming up to 50 from from 15 is quite a investment, especially when your super combos and AOD don't draw you cards.
Yeah, like you mentioned, you all saw my hand earlier. I think at one point in the game you kind of were confused which one was my hand, which one was my life when I was doing some digging.
It was which one was your hand and which one was your deck, because you had I think like 20 cards in your hand at one point. It was absurd.
So with the idea of Dormant being there, I definitely swung with Turles first. I didn't want to swing with Garlic and then just waste that first attack. And you did block it, which I was happy to see you block it. And I do end up comboing up on that just to get rid of a marker. Because at this point, I'm afraid you could just go into another Golden Frieza if I'm not prepared for it. You'll at least be at 1 marker when you play that one if my next 2 attacks go through.
Yeah, Frieza's at 2 markers right now.
He was at 3 right now. He will go down to 2 in a second.
Yeah, and then he'll go in a night because he went down to 2 just because of the Turles attack, and then there we go.
And I will swing, I think, lead next. And this is me, like I said, I'm just picking down. That way, in case you were to try to empower whatever, you're not gonna get the full effect of that empower because he doesn't have a +1.
Yeah, the only thing I would do is I'd tap 4, and then I would get 1 off it. I'd get 5, and I can -4 to get the triple strike, 10k. But that's the one thing that's probably good about Unisons, that a lot of times I don't think about paying extra for unless it's like really late in the game. But things like that, especially with these kind of cards, help being able to pay extra energy.
Yeah.
And I am struggling to find another copy of Golden Frieza. Like, it is, I'm just trying everything I can. I can't find a searcher or anything. And this is why the people that don't run 4 Friezas and then they run 3 and they took out the searchers are like mind-boggling to me, because this doesn't happen often, but when it does, it ruins your game. Like, I'm having to think, how am I going to be defensive now until I can find another Frieza, because I have nothing else really to hit with. Frieza is kind of your main thing. And while I do have dual attack on the Frieza, it's 20k dual attack still. He has 1 life. It's AOD. I'm going to have to deal with an entire board at some point.
Yeah.
So.
And, like on these attacks, I felt comfortable because your hand was getting smaller. I think you had I think at this point maybe 8 cards.
Yeah.
And I still felt comfortable even with your super combos of comboing out, and that's why I kind of held off for the longest time on using my energy. But when you passed with 4 energy, I was like, oh, okay. Was slightly confused by that.
That's the unfortunate part with this deck, is because if you're not playing a lot of battle cards, you just don't have a lot of stuff. Like, I'm taking out Zamasu, I think, in this list. I hate it. Every time I go to side, it's the card I take out. And this deck I don't think it's as good as a hand control deck. So I, try to get rid of anything I can that has extra hand control on it. But yeah, I don't have anything else to hit with. Like, I have a Goku's, that can maybe double strikes with removing markers from my own Unison. I have the coolers that can be right here. You'll see. The coolers that you'll see in my energy that you can pay for 1 if you have 3 Unisons in the drop area. Each cost is reduced by 1 for each Unison, and then that's about all I have besides my counter secret rare. So the only thing I have that's a threat really is the Frieza.
And truth be told, that was actually another thing I was worried about too, and that's why I was very hesitant on a lot of my negates as well. Because if I negated and wasn't prepared for the counter, that was game.
Yeah.
Now I don't remember why I swung towards your lead with Turtles, but I did. I think I chose to go after your Unison on my leader swing, and that's when you did the negate. But now I'm passing with 2 blockers and 2 open energy. I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with place, but once again, if you happen to draw into another Golden Frieza, those blockers are gone, and I'm down to just my 2 energy.
Yeah.
Which I would be okay with, because then at that rate, you won't be able to counter me. So it's kind of those things where I was hoping you do one play or the other, and when you start swinging up that first, I'm okay, cool. I could benefit on a blocker potentially here, and wait to see what you do next.
Yeah, I think definitely whenever I go back to playing this, I'm taking out the Zamasus and putting in maybe another Searcher Cooler, just so that way I can have 4 Friezas that I'm going to see something, and then maybe mainboard Dodoria, just for have that in there. But because this is very frustrating right here, and I have no idea where they are. I'm trying to take life just so that way I can maybe see an extra one.
Which kind of explains why you weren't taking the crits in fear of that being a card you needed.
Yeah, I did not want to take the crits, and I didn't want to, because if I crit a life from your offering, and then it's the Golden Frieza, I probably would have scooped right then and there, because I'm famished for them. I can't find any, and I probably would have at that point, just because that's what wins the deck. And while this usually, like I said, this usually isn't an issue with the deck, but it's just.
I will say, on that last swing, the reason why I chose to negate then is if you were to establish the counter, you couldn't establish a Golden Frieza afterwards, and I knew I would be safe for that turn. But like I said earlier, I forgot all about the 4-drop cooler because its cost is reduced. It's not like an activate main or anything like that. So I could have entered 13 at this point, but I had already gotten rid of, I think, 3. Yeah, I just kind of I would have kept these in my hand if I remember that card.
Yeah, it's a lot of people forget about it because cooler players usually don't play it, or they play it as a 2 of. I play it as a 3 of for instances exactly like this, where I need that extra push. The only thing I could think of to be really good at this point would be the Rosie, which is that triple attack, whatever. And that might be something I take out the Zamasu for, just so I can have that extra little push.
Yeah.
But that's if you don't have this extra stuff and you're not relying on your entire deck being hand control, you just need extra stuff to get the pressure through, especially against decks that have blockers and everything. I think the other option I have too would be to throw into those Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta agents, the Unison. I originally had those in the sideboard, but I took them out.
They could be good. They could be really good at the wrong time. We get you for me.
Yeah, because this deck struggles against barrier.
Yeah.
Like if you have barrier, the deck there's no barrier removal in the deck. I run 2 of the chilled winners, and then or the promo premieres, whatever you call them. And I thought about doing more hate, and here's where I start doing the Knives plays. And right here, we call it out in a second. Knives only has 2 markers, so I can't pick anything.
Yeah.
And
you will play a second one, and I actually go to read it finally. There's like, it has to be limited. It has to be something to it. And I'm like, oh, it needs 3 markers, man.
Yeah, I'm so used to that never being an issue. I just didn't think about it when I did it. And like I said, we catch it. But
and kind of want to go over a few things real quick. When I played my strikes back, I saw 2 quote unquote agent cards. Like, oh, cool, because one was Bobbity, and you're like, that was really good. I'm like, yeah, Bobbity. Oh wait, Bobby doesn't have agent destructions, and I had to put it bottom of my deck.
Yeah. And then here's where we realize, and it's like, okay, now I will pick the Broly, and then I have another Knives in my hand too. So I was confident in this turn, like, hey, I can stop, 5 attacks. Well, I wanted 6, but I can stop 5 attacks. It's ridiculous.
The fact that you hadn't played Dormant was kind of giving me a little bit safer to play here and there. I will say this: you do a negate in a second, I think, and it throws me off a little bit because your target choice. And I think I understand why, but I want to kind of go over it when it occurs. I think I go to play my Unison next. Which, I mean...
Yeah, and the Knives can only target battle cards.
Correct. But that would... so I play the Unison. I don't discard a card because you have no battle cards for me to worry about. I do the +1. You play Knives. And you choose the other Broly. Because I can't attack it until I think the end of my next turn.
Mm-hmm.
But I still had an open battle card on the board, and I guess I had blocker. The mindset was that I would just hold on to it, but instead, I have an overwhelm ready to go, and I just overwhelm and put 25. And I think I combo up to 40.
Yeah, just because I wasn't worried about that 1 extra attack there from the Janemba, but I didn't see the overwhelm coming. Now this is a very frustrating match when I saw 2 Dormants and then I saw only 1 Golden Frieza. And here I am searching for the other Golden Friezas, and they're literally one was in my life and the other 2 the bottom of my deck.
Yep. It just shows you, unfortunately, where, like, for example, I thought you had a great start and you kind of teetered out. I had a horrible start and I was able to kind of just go right back into it, which just benefited me a lot more than it did you in this situation.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, hope you all enjoyed today's Magic. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below and on the screen, and I'm going to kind of pass it off to somebody.
This was, Age of Destructions is, I think, still relevant to this day. I think it's always going to be because general aggro is always really good, and it has great card search. But, everyone, read your cards, know your plays, let us make the mistakes you don't have to, and fluff out.